I remember before that drive, knowing the importance of this on my legacy or the importance of you win or lose or da-da-da-da. And I flashed back to 2007, and we were in the playoffs against the Giants, and I had a similar drive at the end of that game. And I cringe as I got older in the NFL when I watched that game because I just didn't know enough about football on how to attack certain things in my second year of playing then. And I remember being like, boy, I would love to have known what I know now back then. I thought that through my career, right? And then all of a sudden I'm walking out there for that drive and I'm like, okay, this is the moment. And then I'm like, that calmness and everything comes over you because all of a sudden I'm like, I'm glad I know what I know now. And I'm like, this one's going to end a little differently. And so it kind of makes you calm. And that belief that we just talked about, you know, the other part is to really, and I talked earlier about analyzing what the difference is. There was an analyzing of myself that took place over my career where it was like, what's my tendency in these situations? What's my tendency? What does my internal clock do? What does my blood pressure do? What does this happen? And what you do is when you actually analyze yourself, you can always know that's going to happen and then get comfortable with it. And then also you can play against it a little bit. In other words, when my brain says this, don't fall for it. When my brain or my blood pressure does this, don't fall. This is my tendency. Okay. Well, then you can go practice that or guard against it and then go figure out what is guarding against it. So for me, what it was, and about halfway or so through my career, I used to, at the end of games early on, I would try and help all my teammates. You can't take a sack. That ends the game. You've got to get 20 yards or you tried to do all these things that were a little more special in these moments. And then as I got older and we started to do really well, you know, toward the end of my career, we won all these games late and you felt good about going out there and doing it pretty consistently. It was simply because I went out there and knew my tendency was to never take a sack. Well, that would, over 20 plays or 14 or 7 or 9, one of those you're going to be making sure you don't take a sack, and you're going to throw the ball a little earlier than you normally should have. I went out there saying, take a sack. Take a sack. Don't give them the ball. Take a sack. And invariably what happened is I'd produce results by almost saying to myself, like, it'd be like walking to the first tee, and instead of saying, don't hook it, what I'm saying is I'd walk out there and be like, hook it.
A mistake avoidance is a bad place to play from, isn't it?
100%. So then you're going to go up there and be like, "This, my tendency here is to hook this ball. All right, I'm going to hook it."
On purpose.
On purpose. And just, you're all of a sudden just freed up that one thing that you're guarding against. You're completely free of that. Try and do it. You'll be shocked at how you won't. And you'll just play normal.